Hi everyone, my name is Alex Winstanley. I'm a poet and I suffer from schizophrenia. Now, I want people to know, people who have it, people whose family has it, that it is not necessarily a terrible thing. It's painful, it's disruptive, but it's also a chance to learn how to love yourself in the most profound way, in the most intimate, sacred, and drastic way. People with schizophrenia are on a crash course to learn how to love themselves. Because the voices tell you that you shouldn't love yourself, that you don't deserve it. And I'm here to tell you, you, above all people, more than anyone else in this universe, deserve love, self-compassion from yourself to yourself. Now I'm going to read you a letter that I wrote, that I posted a while ago on this subject, and I hope that you will find in it understanding for people like me, people who hear voices, and for people who do find self-compassion. So here it goes. Hello, friends and family. Just want to share these thoughts with you. For the past 5 years, I have suffered from a serious form of schizophrenia, and in the beginning I agonized, with all the doors of my mind closed to the possibility of joy for months on end. The psychic and physical pain were unbearable. The voices were cruel and dissonant. I could hardly have a complete thought without them interjecting. I would wake up in the morning groggy and confused by nightmares and wander mindlessly through the city streets, staring. I felt that I had lost all culture, all dignity, all humanness. But somehow along the way a small voice began to speak in me saying, "Okay, so this is what is happening. How can I learn to accept this illness and begin to heal?" In other words, I had to stop whining and get activated. Full engagement in life necessitates compassion, for it is through compassion that we can integrate more of reality, other people's reality. As long as we are stuck in victim mode, we will never experience the vast spaces within other people's souls, and we will remain alone and marooned on the island of small self. So I began to open my heart, and guess what? Though I continued to suffer, slowly I began to transform. It became less about how I can get away from this horrible condition and more about how I can become a vessel for goodness. This is a drastic transformation, and in this metamorphosis, I opened up to sensitivities that I did not even know were possible. I began to have insights into other people's minds, glimpses of the landscapes of other people, other worlds. This was a revelation. I am not alone. There are people all around me worrying, wondering, and trying to just get on with life without understanding why there is so much discomfort, so much grief. After rising up out of all this pain, I can now safely say that I am not a privileged West Side Vancouver boy who has been fed by a silver spoon. I have faced my demons tooth and claw, been locked in a metaphorical shack with them for years at a time, and I have earned my keep. I have engaged all the aspects of my being, my whole self, into solving the problem of my own suffering, and I have done so out of necessity. I have learned that there's an amazing reservoir of energy in the human being, like the still water behind a massive dam. Everyone knows these energies are there. But sometimes it is easier to not experience the intensity of life and leave that dam closed. When I went through my mania at 19, I had no choice whether or not to feel intensely. What I have had to learn is how to curb that intensity with skill, and as a result, the 26th year of my life has been the best one so far. I feel as if I've been initiated into a greater reality. An intensely beautiful and colorful reality that crests on the edges of my horizon and pulses at the center of my chest. After all those years of paranoia and disconnection, somehow I have opened up into a sacred place, and I live here most of the time. This is not to say that I no longer suffer. It is just that the quality of suffering has transformed. I feel like I don't deserve to just goof off and have fun, but that it is a gift to live. It is a gift to have these bodies and these minds, and it is necessary to pull them to work in the name of some beautiful, joyful ideal. Compassion opens endless possibilities of knowing. Before I got sick, I took the world for granted. Now that I've suffered, I see this world as a massive Rivera mural scrawled on the sides of skyscrapers and bursting with the colors of life. And I see some sort of strange hue in the distance, a hue called freedom. I will leave you with a poem I wrote at 17 in the jungles of Oaxaca. Paradise is a moment of incomprehension, expanded over thousands of staples of time, overpowering the rational mind and giving birth to the moment of wordless understanding that our hearts burn through this dirty street, this treeless landscape. So, my friends, don't let doctors, family members tell you that there is something deeply wrong with you. There is nothing deeply wrong with anyone who is devoted to goodness, to beauty, to compassion. So, be calm, be compassionate, be loving with yourself. Everything, all doors open if the door of the heart opens first. I still hear voices. They're mean, they're cruel, they're painful. But I have learned to make space for them, to open up the caverns of my mind and say, okay, this is what's going on in here. But what is going on down here is more important. Thank you very much. Namaste.